Child-free women are becoming a threat to the society because when a woman no longer chooses marriage, being a wife, or selfless motherhood as the purpose of a life, instead she's focusing on herself, putting herself first, you are becoming a threat to the very system that's oppressing you.
The rundown is this woman got online and made like a 30-plus part series telling the world about how incredibly abusive her husband was in every way, shape, or form. It was an arranged marriage. 6 months into the marriage, he was being physically abusive. He was being emotionally abusive. He was being controlling. I mean, so controlling down to telling her how much matcha she was allowed to drink. He was being manipulative. He was cheating. He was lying. He had lied about his age. He had lied about previous relationships. He had potentially still been in one of those previous relationships when they first met, and there was potentially some overlap there where he was messing with them both at the same time.
Can you imagine getting up every morning to cook breakfast for your man, right? Then you have to get yourself ready for work. You also have to wake your children up to get your children ready for school. You have to drop them off at school, then go to work, then work 8 hours, then pick them up from school, then come home, cook, get the children ready for bed, get them ready for school the next day, clean up after everyone, get yourself ready for bed, do a load of laundry or two. And then when you finally get to rest, you have to fulfill your marriage duties. And that nigga who ain't helped you do shit all motherfucking day. Are you dumb? Ain't got a nerve? Here, husband. Here's half threat. You got me up.
What she just spoke about is a lot of women's reality in their marriages. Many men out there intentionally punish their women with workload by refusing to assist at home. You can't claim to love and care for your partner, for your wife, but you sit back and watch them suffer. You sit back and refuse to partake in the running of the household. I know they provide, but is providing enough? There is more to relationship than just giving money for feeding. Men should learn to do more. Let's have a look at this video.
My wife left me this morning. She woke up early, loaded everything up into the Suburban like she'd been planning this for a while. She said she was heading up to Vermont to visit some family, and the long drive would give her some clarity. She took the kids with her, leaving me alone in a quiet, slightly messy house. Feeling unsure of what to do, I did what seemed logical at the time. I cleaned. There's something weirdly comforting about having a tidy space when life throws you curveballs. Within about an hour, the house became spotless, but my mind got messier. Did I forget about our anniversary? Was it the dishes that I left out overnight again? Or maybe she finally had enough waiting for me to assemble that IKEA shelf we bought 6 months ago. Just as panic sets in, my phone buzzed. It's her. Hey, I know I've said it already. Don't forget, you're taking Friday off. Your flight leaves at 3. I'll pick you up from the airport. I love you. Right. Flight on Friday. Totally remember that. Absolutely. I have zero clue what trip she's talking about. But apparently, I was aware of this trip all along, and clearly, I've smiled and nodded without actually listening. I guess I'll learn what this is all about when the plane lands. At least the house looks great. Guess I'll crack a beer and enjoy the silence. My wife left me this morning. Like she'd been planning this for a while. She's listening.
Clearly that woman was overwhelmed. That's why she left you with that mess and just took the kids. What I think some men don't realize is that some women check out mentally before they check out physically. Look at that place. That is not the result of you leaving your dishes out overnight. That's the result of a house that no one cleans but one person. And what I think this video also proves is that you were always capable of helping, but you probably thought it was her job. Now that she's gone and you have no idea why, now all of a sudden you have the ability to see the mess. The clothes everywhere, the shoes everywhere, the dishes piled to the ceiling, the trash all over the floor. Not to mention you admit to zoning out when she talks to you because you're going to be on a flight and you don't even know what for. And this quick 90-second video shows that you don't listen, that you don't participate, and that you're not clocked in. If you genuinely want to save your marriage and your family, when she comes back, you better never act like you're blind to this mess again. You better participate. You better listen. You better communicate, ask questions, be present. This may be the last warning she ever gives you, but make no mistake, this is her warning you.
Let's have a look at how people are reacting to this video in the comment section. This one says, a woman leaving to go anywhere while her house looks like that is not a good woman or a good mother. As a man, you shouldn't be dealing with a dirty house like that. Let her go, you can do better. This person replied saying, why is it her job to clean their mess and not his? I think the problem here is this. Men know why they are getting married, but women What we think is what men are thinking is obviously not what men are thinking. What marriage means to us as women is far from what marriage means to a lot of men. As men, to men, they mostly think getting married means getting a maid, a house appliance, someone to clean after them, clean up their house, their space, make meals for them, be there for their children. But to most women, when we think about marriage, we're thinking about partnership, someone we can come together, do things together, share things with, and build together. So we see there's a mixed match. Until we reconcile those differences and have a clear understanding of what marriage means to both parties and decide if both parties are getting into marriage for the same reason, we will continuously have this mixed match. Did anyone stop breathing when the table and chairs went back over the pile of trash? That's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. Happy to have left an impression. This is what this person replied. She is probably sick of doing everything. I guess that is the obvious reason. The woman is tired. She probably must have checked out and waiting to get a divorce. She said she needed to clear her head. What does that tell you? She needed to clear her head. The whole house is messed up and there is a second adult living in that house with her. From the way the man spoke, from the story I listened to, it seems like anything that concerns the house is none of his business. He was all about going out there and working and making his money, catching flights and going for business trips. He wasn't concerned about the management of the house. In his head, she's there, so she's going to take care of everything. That's sad. You are the older child, not her partner. That is often the case with a lot of men. A couple of months back, I made a video, and in that video, I had a video clip of a man saying, if a woman cannot adopt you as her first child, she is not a wife material. Do you know what children mean to mothers? Do you know how mothers view their children? Do you know how they treat them? So men are basically saying that it is a woman's responsibility to clean after a man, see the man as a child, pamper him, do everything for that man. The question here is this: what then does she get in return? What then is the man willing to do for her? Men are takers. They want women to be giving. They want to be collecting because they feel entitled to anything that concerns a woman, including a woman's body, a woman's service. They feel like it is their birthright because the so-called society has brainwashed them into believing that they are all kings and women are supposed to be underneath them. We were captured. We are just slaves, according to them. An advice: I left way long before I actually left. And yes, could be that Akia thing, or the day you ignored her or forgot that she is beautiful. A woman gives up when she is exhausted of not feeling loved. It's not another guy or money. It's simply peace that she needs. That is just me. Take it as an advice. True, women check out long before they finally leave. And what is common out there is this: when a woman is leaving a relationship or a marriage, it's not because she has a man somewhere else. It does happen, but that is not what is common. It's not because she has a man somewhere else, but it's because she has given up. She's tired. She's done her best. She has tried communicating with you. Probably she has spoken to you, but you've ignored her so many times. You've made up your mind not to assist. You obviously saw her as a slave and didn't see the need to assist her. So when a woman checks out, don't think the moment she left the door was the moment she checked out. She did that long time ago.
Child-free women are becoming a threat to the society because when a woman no longer chooses marriage, being a wife, or selfless motherhood as the purpose of a life, instead she's focusing on herself, putting herself first, you are becoming a threat to the very system that's oppressing you. Because patriarchy and capitalism has been benefiting so much from women's sacrifice, silence, and suffering. And all of a sudden, you're not playing their games. So who's gonna give birth to more cheap laborers to keep the rich richer? How dare you? And also, a child-free woman is going to put up with a lot less bullshit than women with kids does. Imagine this: you're a working mom, your boss treats you like shit, there ain't no much benefits for you, but you can't leave because you got babies to feed. Now compare that to child-free women. She can look in the manager's eyes and say F you and leave today because she ain't got nobody to take care of except for herself. A child-free woman is a woke woman and she's not controllable or governable, and they don't like that.
Let's see how some people are reacting to what she said in the comment section. Someone once said, men want the life their fathers had, while women avoid the lives their mothers lived. That's the truth. This makes me feel so good. As a woman with children, I totally cheer women without children. Go ladies, we are behind you. Child-free women are not a threat to any society. The so-called child-free are some few women who are unable to conceive. That is not true. We have some women that are unable to conceive and they decided to become child-free. We have women that said to themselves they don't want to have children. We have those group of women. We also have some group of women that don't like children. Like they have hatred for children. They don't want to have anything to do with children. Not just women alone. We also have men that are child-free. I don't understand why men are just attacking women alone. Not just men. Some women that have children also attack the child-free women. Whereas we also have men that are also child-free. And those men are also vocal about it. When men speak up about being child-free, we often don't see people attack them. But when women do, it seems like the whole nation, everyone in the world is against that woman. It seems like she just committed an abomination. She said something that was not supposed to be said. I don't understand the anger towards women that have chosen not to be child-free. So just to correct that notion, child-free women are not just women that have difficulties conceiving. We have a subset of those people. Majorly, when you hear a woman say she's child-free, those are women that have decided not to have children, even when they have the ability to conceive. This person replied and said, I wished your mom was child-free. Men are not the enemy. Having children does not make you a prisoner. It makes you a mother. Children should not be compared to anything or used to define anything. This is coming from a man.
I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off of this one right now, right here, which is we are now reconciling. We are now in the point in our relationship that, yeah, we still want to try and fix it.
So basically, the rundown is this woman got online and made like a 30-plus part series telling the world about how incredibly abusive her husband was in every way, shape, or form. It was an arranged marriage. 6 months into the marriage, he was being physically abusive. He was being emotionally abusive. He was being controlling. I mean, so controlling down to telling her how much matcha she was allowed to drink. He was being manipulative. He was cheating. He was lying. He had lied about his age. He had lied about previous relationships. He had potentially still been in one of those previous relationships when they first met, and there was potentially some overlap there where he was messing with them both at the same time. And people were in the comment section saying that in one of the videos in her 30-part series, she went on to accuse him of cheating on her with an 18-year-old, and she also accused him of talking to that 18-year-old since she was a minor. She gets up here, she makes this multi-part series. She claims that she's making the series because she wants to help women who are potentially in the same situation as her, and then all of a sudden she disappears for 3 weeks. Honestly, a lot of people thought that he had, took her out. She comes back, she deletes the entire series, and she follows up with that video that I showed you at the beginning of her saying that they are now reconciling. So it's obviously people weren't super excited and jumping for joy over the fact that she was getting back with her abusive husband, who she got up here and told us beat her up on more than one occasion, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Unfortunately, of course, a tale as old as time, she got up here and she got mad at the people in the comment section who were just concerned for her and worried for her, and she responded with this. Comments on here are so unnecessary. People do change. Marriage is not easy. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because of the time and effort being put into this to overcome a lot of our issues. This didn't happen in a matter of a week. Abuse is never okay, and I'm aware of that. We are in marriage counseling. He promised and apologized to me and our families. This is something that he will never do to me again. A lot of men don't put aside their ego to better themselves, let alone their marriages. I'm not going to explain myself any further. Obviously, this response rubbed people the wrong way because it's why do y'all always get up here and be rude and mean to the only people who seem to actually genuinely give a fuck about you and your well-being? Because I'm so sorry, if your friends and family are supporting you getting back with an abusive husband who within 6 months of the marriage started physically and emotionally abusing you and also cheating on you, they don't care. I will hold your hand. I will hold your hand and be supportive while you process that, but you need to process that. She ended up turning the comments off on the video that I showed you at the beginning because obviously everybody in the comment section was not in support of her getting back with her husband. And then people in the comment section of other videos went on to say that she actually went on to claim that the whole story about him cheating with an 18-year-old and allegedly talking to the 18-year-old since she was a minor was all just made up. It's actually all the 18-year-old's fault and she's just lying and telling stories. All right now, ma'am, you're teetering on the edge of becoming a danger yourself. I understand, as somebody who grew up in a household where my mom was a continuous, repetitive victim of domestic violence from multiple different men, I understand the statistics, I understand the effects on one's mental health, I understand how it can warp one's mind, I understand that it can take 7+ times for a domestic violence victim to successfully leave, and I always understand that it's always the most dangerous time when a domestic violence victim leaves. I understand all of that, alright? It's not lost on me. However, we also need to acknowledge the fact that there comes a certain point in time where you not only become a victim, but you also start to become somewhat of a perpetrator. Because it's one thing for you to stay in the relationship and continue to subject yourself to the abuse that this person has continued to show you that they're going to thrust upon you, but it's another thing to start helping them make justifications and excuses for the abuse that they have inflicted on others. But she ain't going nowhere. They're going to marriage counseling. Best of luck to you, girl. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. The way you described him and his family, you can't convince me that they do not believe that you have brought dishonor amongst the family. You
can't convince me that they're just going to easily move past the fact that you posted a 30-part series exposing and embarrassing their son. Please be very careful.
I don't think you should reconcile with your abuser, especially the one you came online to drag and expose. What kind of counseling are they going for? What kind of marriage counseling is she going for? That man is angry at her and he's going to strike when the time is right. And I pray when he strikes, she survives it. Let's watch the video of her telling her viewers that, oh, she's not going to leave the man, or they're going for counseling. It was actually longer than that, but I just got a little bit of the clip. I think she's taking down the video from her page because of the numerous backlash she was getting from people.
BSFR, she's going back for the ring and the matcha.
Help set this marriage up. You get my ring. It's gorgeous. And I'm very happy things are just working out the way that they should be. Please pray for us. Please pray that things are going to get better for us. Please pray that, this is the end of all of our messes. Couples fight, but I will never go back to the way that we fought before. I don't ever want to, and he also does not want to. We're definitely on to bigger and better things. I was processing a divorce at the time. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off of this one right now, right here, which is we are now reconciling. We are now in the point in our relationship that, we still want to try and fix it. How could you go back to someone like that?
Girl, I was wondering where you had disappeared to. I enjoyed your 20/30 part series on your horrible ex-husband who was both emotionally and physically abusive towards you from the get-go. If you're new to this, I'll give you the highlights. NAZMUM had an arranged marriage with what I can only describe as a turd of a human being. He lied to her about his age, about his previous relationships, and possibly having a bit of an overlap between meeting her and still being in those relationships. He was gaslighting her, he was very controlling, he was very manipulative, and he was emotionally and physically abusive towards her. I, like many others, really enjoyed these videos, not because, oh, this is gossip or tea, rather, here is a strong woman who said, no, you are not treating me right, I deserve better, and I'm going to be walking away from this situation, and you are a disgusting human being. I wish no ill on her. In fact, if anything, I want her to be safe and happy. Whether she'll get that from him, I don't know. But girl, if you need us, just say.
Like many of you, I watched the entire NAZMUM'S series, and we were really rooting for this girl while she was getting herself out of this shitty situation. But many of you know she just came out with that video where she kind of just said she's reconciling and she's working on her marriage, and she basically went back to this dude. Now the thing is, I understand she's very, very in love. It's the honeymoon stages of a marriage, or in this case in her relationship, because they were not really dating before they got married, you know what I mean? So it's very much the honeymoon stages where you have the glossy eyes and you're very accepting and understanding of all of the different things that kind of take you off. What it feels like to me is this man was begging for forgiveness, and because her eyes were so glossed over, she decided that, she had already looked past so many different things. What's one more thing? I know that the things that he was doing to us from the outside seem very heinous. Him cheating on her with a minor, him all of the other abuse, voice recordings of her literally hiding in fear and calling the cops, and her having to lie about calling the cops. And the reason why she lied about her being the one who called the cops is because she was scared of what him and his family would do if they found out. Now she put it out into the world on the internet, so the family definitely knows. And still she put herself back in that home, back in his home with his family, where now they know. I think she's forgetting all of the feelings that she was feeling in that moment of fear because of all of the kind words that he is now trying to use to gloss over her eyes. And I really truly feel bad for her from the bottom of my heart. But at the same time, as a girl who is married, I understand that marriage comes with a lot of forgiveness on both ends, especially when you both are just figuring each other out. The first year of marriage is definitely the hardest for all couples. Even the smallest things of just figuring each other out, being able from understanding each other. She also was living in the parents' home where she had to develop a relationship with them as well, aside from her relationship with her husband. So this girl's strength, I'm wishing this girl clarity. The thing is, when she came on the internet, and this is for all couples, this is for all people who are just telling their side of the story to friends and family, as the person who is in the relationship. And the reason for that is, NAZMUM, you love him, you love this man, but for us on the outside, we don't love this man, we don't care for him. Matter of fact, we actually hate him. And same goes for his family. You need to remember this, NAZMUM. As a married woman,
the reason why I never argued or had any conflict with my parents-in-law when I was living in their home is because I understood the fact that my husband loves me. My husband married me because he loves me. His parents did not bring me into the home because he loved me. They brought me into the home because they love their son. And that's who you will be in their eyes forever, for life. They only love you by association. And they only care for you by association. So if he is being disrespectful, if he is not loving you, if he's showing them that he doesn't love you, they will not love you by association. If he is going out of his way, standing up for you, things like that, his family will slowly learn, like, hey, my son loves this girl so much, let me give it a chance and try to love her as well. So that's my little take. Love you, girly.
So it's apparent that the Bangladeshi women's community is pretty enraged that NAZMUM, I think her name is, went back to her abusive husband. Lots and lots of videos and takes on it, especially around how she had a social responsibility, really, to not go back to him after making, I didn't watch any of her videos, but seems like she made a series on it. And a lot of people were looking at her as like a beacon of hope, of like someone who was getting out of an abusive situation, and really looked at her as a role model. And I get it, it's so hard. But if we're really going to talk about it, let's be honest. She was someone that I am 100% sure, especially being part of the community, was told that she's less than because of her beauty. She has probably grown up hearing that if a guy likes her, she's lucky because wow. And when someone chooses you, even if they hurt you, leaving doesn't always feel like empowerment. Sometimes it can feel like your last chance of being wanted. I'm telling you, it runs so deep, especially for women who were told that they're not worthy enough. It runs deep within their families. Family members are telling these people, directly or indirectly, through their actions and words, that they're not worthy enough, and supporting them going back to these types of situations. I am not saying what she did was at all right, but we need to stop treating content creators as if they are self-help gurus, as if they're completely healed on this platform. They're performing survival online for views. So when the bubble bursts and we learn that they are not perfect and they're not making, perfect decisions, moral decisions, we're so hurt. Let's keep learning and stop pretending like we're all healed just because we're saying the right things.
Which is, we are now reconciling.
And this is exactly why not everyone deserves a platform. For over 4 minutes, she continues to explain how her abusive husband has now changed over a month, I might add. Apparently, he got all his anger issues resolved, so I would love to know what genius therapist worked with him. Oh, and she also explains how he allows her to have more than one matcha now, so that's wonderful. She continues to explain how she is the one who is apologetic and sorry for dragging him on the internet when he literally dragged her by her hair in their home. So I don't know what's more ironic about that. I think the worst part about the situation is not just the obvious, which is the fact that she's back with him, but it's also how so many women and girls were looking at the situation and her specifically as a beacon of light through an abusive household and, how to get out of it. And then when she makes a video saying that, no, let's actually give him another chance. Like maybe everyone else is wrong and he's the only person that's right. And it was just a misunderstanding. It's like you're teaching people that the person who abuses you is also capable of fixing you, which is not true. Those two things cannot be true. She also continues to talk about how, marriage tests you and these are just the trials and tribulations of marriage. But I don't think your safety and having basic respect should be parts of the trials. Personally, I think she's a lost cause. I think the only person that could save her at this point is herself, and I can only hope and pray that she sees that it's still not too late to leave. I am well aware of the society that we come from and how many of the women in our culture are taught to kind of forgive men for their sins and all the abuse that they cause. But I think it is on us to break these cycles of abuse. We need to be able to recognize the patterns, and we need to understand that a lot of the times these narcissists are just trying to take us away from our support system, as per this example. We need to learn how to leave. And it is incredibly hard and it can be very painful, but I don't think the abuse just stops. I think it'll keep going and he will just get better at hiding it. So I really do hope the best for Naz. I really do hope she stays safe, but it is very disappointing. But please be better than this. This is not what we need to be teaching younger girls on how to navigate abuse.
Have you guys ever watched someone's 30-part series about them leaving a relationship and then only for them to come back? Well, I watched Naz's story, and her story is hers, no judgment. But like the courage that she had to leave the marriage, that was inspiring for me. That made me like see the patterns in my own situation and helped me leave. But she's trying to figure that out, so no judgment to her. But I want to talk to my Muslim sisters on here. I want to talk to the people that saw themselves in that situation and felt confused, maybe even triggered, because I was one of them. That story helped me have the strength to walk away from a situation I never thought I had the courage to do so. Like, we are raised that to stay in marriages, like the marriage is sabr and jameel, beautiful patience, even when it's breaking us. But Islamically, you are not obligated to stay in a relationship that's harming you. The Prophet ﷺ actually never shamed who sought divorce, and one of the biggest examples is Khawla bint Talaba. And I never knew this, but there are Quranic verses revealed to her because she stood up to her husband's injustices. And the Prophet ﷺ also approved of a divorce of a woman named Fatima, not because of abuse, but because she didn't like him. He didn't guilt trip her. He didn't say don't stay for the kids. None of that. Islam gave us that freedom 1400 years ago. So I don't understand why people are so scared in relationships. And I just want you to know that it's not. And listen, I know it's not easy, especially when you come from cultures that say for you to tolerate, to stay quiet, and to prioritize everyone else's but yours reputation and not your safety. But your life, your peace, your connection to Allah is all sacred. You are not meant to suffer in silence to prove your worth. But whether you stay or whether you decide to leave, do it with your eyes open, not out of fear or guilt, but for the love that you have for yourself. And have faith in the Lord that sees your struggles and that allowed you to leave.
Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.